Where's the offside line? Nice Lawrence! Back foot, ready up! Count! Nice, Chris! Just bringing in sort of, rather than having to go at the end.
It's not possible.
That's it, go perfect, go. Back round. Let's go again. Let's go again. Superb, let's go again. Perfect, mate. Good man, smashed it. Hi. He's good, he's good, he's good. Come on, do you want to have a go? Yeah? Cool, let's go. Oh, Well done, guys.
Đen. Chà. Đen. Đen.
Hey!